Hey everybody, this is TJR, and it's time to talk about the new album by Coldplay entitled Everyday Life. But first, if you like what I'm doing, be sure to click like, click subscribe, and smash the bell icon so you can know when I release new videos. Okay, let's get to it. Full disclosure, I am not a Coldplay fan. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate them. In fact, I find a lot of their songs pleasant to hear when I hear them. But there was never been anything that has made me go, oh, wow, I need to hear the album that song is off of, or wow, I've really got to hear that hit by Coldplay right now. Now, Robert Kinsler, whom I review albums with on this channel, is very passionate about the band, and his passion has prompted me to go and listen to their albums from time to time, because you never know. Once upon a time, steamed broccoli would not be my side dish of choice. Now I choose it over a lot of previous favorites. You never know when your taste might change, and you never know when a band's music will suddenly just hit you. Enter the 8th studio album by Coldplay entitled Everyday Life. This is a concept album. It is billed as a double album, but it is on one CD. It is 16 tracks. It is enough tracks to be a double album. The album is divided into two parts. Part 1 is entitled Sunrise. Part 2 is entitled Sunset. Now, the basic concept, in my opinion, is that the album's songs deal with both the beauty and the ugliness that is everyday life. For some of us, everyday life has more beauty than ugliness, and for some of us, everyday life has more ugliness than beauty. This album explores these themes and also explores a growing awareness of the beauty and ugliness in our own lives, as well as in the lives of others. The album immediately struck me and turned my head with the opening instrumental track entitled Sunrise. Sunrise is a powerful, emotive, and cinematic bit of orchestral melancholy, and I don't think I've ever heard anything quite like it from Coldplay in the past. This continued with each successive song. Like the best Beatle albums, every track is a different color, a different flavor, or a different part of the world. And that is one reason why I found myself so enthralled by this album. Every track offers something different, and that is one of the reasons why I found myself so enthralled by this album. Every track offers something different, and it feels to me that I have not heard Coldplay go into as many musical directions on one album as they have on this one. From track to track, the production level varies. From the musically dense arrangements of tracks like Trouble in Town, which samples a real recording of police harassment, and Arabesque, which features an extended horn jam session, to the sparse gospel of a song like Broken, which is recorded with a gospel choir, and WOTW/POTP, which stands for Wonder of the World, Power of the People. This recording is just guitar and vocal, and it feels as though it was recorded on a cassette recorder. This album manages to move from hi-fi to lo-fi, from one track to the other. And in my opinion, the production choices work for each song. Now, some tracks like WOTW/POTP have received some criticism for being short, and therefore labeled as an unfinished song idea, just thrown onto the album to fill time. But I see tracks like this as short vignettes in the vein of Maggie May and Dig It by the Beatles off the Let It Be album, a musical vignette that bridges between two longer tracks. There has been a lot of critical praise for songs like Church and Champion of the World, which are the two most Coldplay-esque songs on the record. But for me, some of the best tracks are the ones where the band sounds unlike what we normally think of as sounding like Coldplay. A good example is the old school Brill Building sound song entitled Cry, Cry, Cry. At first I thought it might be Ricky Lee Jones singing along with Chris Martin, but instead it was English musician Jacob Collier. I also like it when they just musically stretch out on tracks like the aforementioned Trouble in Town and Arabesque. I want to take a brief time out to talk about the album's packaging, which is always of interest to me, and I hope it's of interest to you as well. Everyday Life is packaged in what I call the mini hardcover book format. Of all the different types of formats I've seen to release a CD on, this one is just my particular favorite. I love this type of packaging. I've seen some bands and artists do this with their albums. I always enjoy it when they do. This is the front cover. Here is the back cover. And inside, of course, the book covers, of course, all the lyrics. Not as easy to read as I'd like them to be. Of course, I have very old eyes. There are, of course, along with the lyrics, there's photos as well. Information on, of course, the credits, just who recorded what, where, when, who played what on what, who sang on what, and, of course, the CD fits right here into the back. The album jumps from song to song, varying in its musical styles, varying in its production styles. And what holds all these diverse musical elements of everyday life together, however, is its lyrical themes of how we are all in the same boat of life, to one degree or another. We live in a time where the internet connects us and allows us to reach out and communicate with each other in ways that I would have never thought possible in my youth. But, at least here in the United States, we also live in such strongly divisive times. It's bad enough that people stereotype and vilify each other for their religious and political beliefs without a second thought. But internet tribalism has actually reached a point where we are vilifying people for things as trivial as what kind of speakers do you enjoy listening to, and whether or not you liked or hated the last Star Wars movie. This album explores all these themes of both divisiveness and connectivity. It reminded me that while our own lives can seem to be filled with hassle and heartache, it's oftentimes trivial compared to the hassle and heartache of those less fortunate than ourselves. The songs on Everyday Life are filled with the variety of everyday life, both the comfortable and the uncomfortable. Yes, this album has definitely grabbed me in a way that no previous Coldplay album has. I honestly don't know if this is going to make me hear the band's past catalog in a whole new way or not. But for now, I definitely want to recommend this album. If you've heard this album, please share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And if you disagree with me, please tell me why. Just keep your comments respectful. A special shout out to my Patreon supporters who are helping me make videos like this. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, please click the link under more info and donate whatever you can. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.